All right, should hopefully be coming through right about now. All right, this is the best I got for right now. You should hopefully be seeing me as well as a copy of Halo 2 running on the bottom right. I'm watching the stream of me, or rather the capture of Halo 2 through OBS on my PC. So it is slightly delayed what the game is doing versus the inputs I'm doing, but it's good enough to navigate around the map and observe things, which is all I really need it for. So just know if I'm not great at like I don't know, jumping and navigating while, I'm just gonna blame it on the fact that there is maybe a half a second delay. But yeah, hey, this is my Steam Deck running. I think my mic is a little too sensitive. Tell me what you think. I'm gonna turn it down a little bit, like 5 decibels. Tell me if that sounds okay. Okay. So I think we got everything we need to get started here. Okay, so transitioning back to Infinite, you see here I have the station. I did put in a little time forging. I didn't stream it yesterday. Mic sounds good. Awesome, good to hear. And a couple like quality of life improvements for you guys. I can now see my chat and I'm playing. I play on a super ultra wide. And it's full screen. I'm playing windowed right now, so I can see the chat, I can see the stream, all that good stuff. The only downside for me is I'm playing with half my screen, but again, we're forging here. It's nothing crazy. So here's what I added that you guys have not seen. So I got this whole section here. I think I'd mentioned that this pathway down here is a main route for vehicles. If you do end up falling down here, oh, side note, I did also kind of polish this off a little bit. I'm going to add a few more like debris and things up here because it still looks a little too polished, like too nice. I want it to look a little grungier. So I'm still trying to balance that, but for the most part, the geometry's done. It's kind of like I'm sprinkling some things in there. I want to make sure I'm still committed to that idea. Regardless, I do want a path to get from that platform to this one as a functional replacement for being able to jump. Added this poster. Nothing major. This is actually a poster, like a poster-sized poster, like 2 feet by 3 feet or something. But I blew it up so it's big. It's not usually this pixelated. It's usually pretty clear, even scaled up to like 50 feet tall. And then also, this is the back of a billboard. So if I fly over here, I took this billboard actually, and flipped it, sized it to where I wanted it, kind of pulled it till it was right orientation, and then put a poster-sized poster there, but scaled it up. I could have just put the poster there, but I feel like having it in something and distorting the image a little bit, because you have to think, we all have access to the same like handful of posters. So while these are kind of cool right now, you're going to see these in every single map that you come across that's like city themed. You're going to see these posters everywhere. Every map's going to have them. There's no avoiding it. Because there's only a handful of them. I think there's the 6 of these, and then there's this one, and then there might be 1 or 2 more. You're going to see them everywhere. So what I'm trying to do is make it look different, slightly different. So that's one way to do it. I also added these railings. If you remember in the original map, I have it right here. Isn't this nice? All right. Challenge time. Can I get up here with the delay? I promise I can do this first try. There we go. In the old one, it was possible to climb up here, and that I could 100% tell you that was intentional because this thing goes down, you see, just to the height where if you skill jump, you crouch jump, you risk falling down to the vehicle path. but you're rewarded by being able to get up here without exposing yourself by running all the way around. So all those little things, you know, they have to make it in some way into infinite. So you see, if I spawn now, obviously you can't just jump up there, it's too high, but you can, you know. I finished kind of trimming this out, put some plants up there, but the big thing was adding the entrance to this little walkway here. That was the big thing. So if a player who's not in a vehicle falls down, I want to have a way for them to get back up, because the map has been scaled up. It would be a bit of a trek to come all the way over here. It would be a really big trek to come all the way down here and come up, and likewise to go under here and then jump back up to here and then go over. I wanted to add something of a shortcut, so I'm torn between going through the center here and then going over and meeting in the middle, and then have it metered here, over, meet in the middle. So basically it's one path that comes in, splits into two, goes around this block, and then up and meets again. Or having a door on either side of this. Originally, I liked this idea more because the doors are recessed. As I'm thinking about it, this is a really long distance to travel. Now, again, it's hard to tell the scale as I'm zipping around his monitor. It's not till you get on your feet where you realize that's a really long distance. And these changes I'm making, I'm wanting them to be small. I don't want them to fundamentally change the way the map plays. I just want them to make it so the map works in Halo Infinite with the faster movement speed, the faster vehicles, and the higher player count. Because I want this to be a big team battle map, which means I can't build it 1-to-1 because that map was made for 8v8. You know, 6v6, 8v8. It was not meant for 12v12. So I want to add things to it to make it more playable, but I don't want to change I don't want to change the way the map plays. I just want to make it compatible with Halo Infinite, which is a really, really tricky thing to try to do. So, I'm rethinking making the path go over there. I think that's too far. This is about, that's really getting into we're really changing the map, I think. Doing it here, still a decent change, but I've already got this nice looking entrance there. Up, over, come around, and you're up. Maybe that doesn't even save that much time. I mean, yeah. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe I make... Let me think about this. So I have these door windows here. Side note, let me answer your question real quick. Is the train possible? I believe so. I made it work in Halo 5 with far fewer resources at my disposal. That being said, I don't know how quite yet, because I'm wanting to keep in, and if I can't, that's fine, but I'll have to tweak some things. I want to keep in the snake in the train. So jumping over to Halo 2, look both ways. So there is, on this side, you see that S in the track? It goes straight, does about a 20-degree turn, and then straightens back out again, and goes straight all the way through here, and then it kicks up a little bit at the end. Oh, get out of the way. I want to keep that in, but that dramatically increases the complexity. I'm doing this map for a few reasons. I like this map a lot, and I did the Halo 5 version of this that people seem to really like. So I kind of feel, with all the resources available, in a way I feel obligated to do it. And I'm also doing this map because it's a challenge, and I want to see if I could pull it off. You know, maybe I can't. Maybe I got to keep it straight the whole way through. That didn't seem to really affect the game too much. The reason, it complicates it for a few reasons, but the big reason why it complicates it is because a train is made up of segments of cars, right? As it's turning, the train acts like a snake, where some of the cars turn before others, right? The way I built the train in the past, it was one solid piece. And that worked as long as it was going perfectly straight, which it was. It was. Now, I know I could script it to turn and move, but it can't just move as one long stick. It's going to look really weird because the track is narrow and it has to follow a path, and really it should be each car moving in succession. Instead of just one long stick that's moving, and then when it would go up, the whole thing would do this, you know. So to answer your question, I think it's possible. I do think it's possible. It will be a challenge. And honestly, I had enough of a challenge just trying to get the silly gate to work, where you walk up and the gate opens and you go inside. So doing a whole train that has to move car by car and kill people and all of that, that's going to be tricky. So I do think it's possible. I may have to resort to simplifying it and do a single straight track. I hope I don't. But and here's the thing: is Forge is still a little bit buggy, so I'm scared to invest too much time just to have it like an update come out and have it not work or something. Because it takes a long time to like figure out the intricacies and nuances of the visual scripting and all that. I have some experience prior as like a web developer, but obviously it's not truly transcendent. Just some of the terminology I'm familiar with is really it. So, is the train possible? In some form or fashion, yes, it's possible. It's possible enough to make it work. But Forge is going to get better, and I'm going to get more proficient with the tools and the scripting. In the meantime, I'm going to continue building out the geometry. I still have a long ways to go. I would say still a few hundred more hours before this map is truly fleshed out. But like I was saying, maybe these are 2 doors. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's the way we do it. These are 2 doors on the side instead of windows, and then the windows in the middle. But you would just think the door would be in the middle, you know, not the windows. The windows should be on the side. I don't know. It's tricky because it's a long ways to be underground. And this is not a big space. Well, let's try it. That is 1/3 ramp half B1. Okay, nice and simple title. Ramp 1/3 standard. Okay. Oh, okay. That one has a nice curve to it. No, it doesn't. It just looks like it. A spiral. I don't know. This, even though this is bigger, this seems like fewer surfaces. I mean, I guess it's only 2 fewer surfaces. I think these are identical, just this has a base to it. I'll just stick with this one. You know what? No. No. I'll do this one, and that way I can use that wall as also a like a blocker. Now, It's really tough to parameterize this until you jump in. I'm pretty sure that door window piece doesn't take textures color. Same with the fat ramp. So there's the Halo design pieces, Halo design set, and then you go to ramps and ramps MP. So MP, you can see the description there. Objects are non-telescoping and material swaps are not allowed. If you select the one that's non-MP, I think you can. I think you can modify. If you can't, that's going to suck because I built a lot of this out of that. But I feel like I tested that already. But that's an excellent thing to look at before we go any further. So we could do cobblestone. That's for region 1, region 2. Wood board. Okay. Oh, there we go. Cobblestone. We can go red and red. So now you can. It's just the multiplayer pieces that that you can't. So, but thanks for double checking because that would suck. That would really suck. And this was grid, right? Design grid. This was... Not that it really matters. I'm going to be changing all that anyway. Okay, but thanks for the call out. Long way from Tony Hawk Pro Skater. Yeah. I mean, it's been a long time since I played that game. I feel like 10's pretty good. I do want this to be kind of a narrow space because you have these big open spaces, and I want to like juxtapose that against more close quarter spaces and like that had that are like without vehicles, you know. Oh, the OG Forge. You know, it's really funny you bring that up because honestly, I spent a lot of time in that too. I think making maps, even ones that I like really never actually skated on, was more fun to me than the actual game. And the actual game is great, but for me, it was the Forge that was the most fun. Maybe I should have gone into game design. Oh well. No, it's too steep. Sorry, in a text. All right. And height. How far down do I have to go? Yeah, we'll leave it like that for now. Magnets just don't work anymore. There we go. And then over just a touch. Magnets are a little wonky. All right, I'll do it myself. If you flip an item upside down to make the train, does that skew with the physics of the item? No. The only thing you can't do is resize it. You could change its position and orientation all you want. You just can't resize it. Okay, so this would be like that. Getting the train to snake is going to be a colossal challenge. Hope you get it working. While scripting is robust, it's a bit janky and infinite. Right? Yeah. So that's the thing is, I have a lot of work to do on this map well before... I have plenty of things to do before I tackle the train. Now, when I did this in Halo 5, I did the train first as a proof of concept. Here, I know how I did it in Halo 5, and I'm pretty sure I can recreate that here. So if I need to, I can keep it perfectly straight track, and I can just do that. And I'm waiting for updates and also just me to generally get more, like, better with the tool and better with scripting. And then I'll attempt the train. It's not something I need to tackle right now, nor do I think that would be best. Just because, yeah, I want to be more familiar and have the tool more operational. I kind of like these narrow passageways. You don't see these as much anymore. This is more of an OG FPS aesthetic, but this is from a Halo 2 game, you know, or map. I still think this might be too narrow, though. This wasn't even in the right place. That is a little better. There we go. This was my original idea, but this is a little bit more compact than I thought. Yeah, you can 100% do a straight train with minimal effort. It's a snaky train. I like that. There will be a lot of trial and error. Just hope it's doable without breaking the game. Yeah, same. And then if we did like a 45 here. I want to be able to jump out this window onto the pathway that I'm making. This just seems like such a long passageway, you know? It's just a really long, straight line. I don't even know if that saves you that much time, you know? I think it should... I think I'm going about this wrong. I think this needs to come up first. Yeah. Before anything else. Yeah, scaling in for sprint is definitely going to make it lengthy. So the way I did it is I did it by time and not distance. When I need to scale something for distance, I use the Warthog, but the overall map size I scaled for time. So it should take you the same amount of time to walk/sprint in Halo Infinite versus Halo 2. And then I increased it by like 10% on top of that, to account for hopefully the additional players. So that does mean it is noticeably bigger. Like you can see the road's wider, the building's taller. Like it is bigger. It's going to play bigger, but you can traverse the map more quickly now. So I don't know. Hopefully it works okay. So you come in here, you could definitely see this whole station is pretty big. But this was kind of a cramped area, you know, before, and it would be especially. This is going to get very busy. You know, people shooting at each other and yeah. All right, let's take a look. Maybe. Let me just get a basic idea of what I want to do here, and then I'm going to move on. So it's a 1/3. I think that's good. This is half that height. I did the exact same thing for headlong and feel like the map is smaller. It was going good until the open area under the bridge. Was it too big? That's the thing too, is like it's not just copying the map on a giant photocopier and hitting 110% and then hitting enter. That will scale the map, you know, but there are jumps you need to be able to still do, places you should still be able to access, routes that still need to work that maybe don't now because the map is scaled. So it's not a simple just scale everything and hit go. It's at a baseline scaling everything and then carefully going around the map and making sure certain things are maybe not scaled as much or maybe even scaled down a little bit, but still making the map feel like the original. It's not a easy thing to do by any means. Let's do the width on this, like, I think this is about 40. Yeah, let me just get the exact size on this. We'll go nice round 35. Okay. Your AR is on brand, but definitely reminds me of Fortnite. Yeah. My AR's on brand, my armor's on brand, my Warthog's on brand. All the map parameter felt right, and the corridor on the bridge felt really small. I've just been jumping in and out of it, hoping someone else makes a good one so I can delete mine. It's too much. Yeah, it's tricky, man, because it is not the same game, you know? Like, it's still Halo, but I will say, making a remake in Halo Infinite is, at least for scaling purposes, it's easier than in Halo 5, because Halo 5, the Spartan abilities made things really wacky when it came to recreating maps, because Halo 5 was just fundamentally just such a different game than the previous iterations. Halo Infinite plays a little bit more classically, you know. At least my opinion. That's what I think. But so 30 by 15. So let's see where 60 by 30 gets us. I mean, that's not bad. It's like a decent sized ramp, though. Come on. Whoops. Oh my. Oh my goodness. What in the world? Okay. There are problems with this ramp. Is it the angle? Is that why you're mad? It's just the higher... Oh my... I don't... Alright, maybe it's just this one piece. Let's duplicate it. Whoa. That's new. A big part is vehicle behavior. The bouncier hogs make all the maps feel smaller. They just feel like they get around really quick. You know, they are faster, but the biggest thing I notice is they accelerate. They get up to speed instantly. That's the biggest difference I felt in jumping back and forth. So here. Oh, I get hit by a train. I hit by a train. Oh, there it is. I'll walk down over here. I'm going to walk. Over here. This is kind of... Okay, I'm going to focus on one at a time. All right, there and there. Okay, so we're at the same spot. All right, watch me take off on this warthog real quick, and I'll drive all the way to the end. And I'm doing this in MCC first, so on the bottom right of your screen. All right, here I go. And speeding up, still speeding up, speeding up. Now we're not full speed, but moving at a comfortable rate. You know, it took the whole length of that straightaway. By the way, that straightaway is the same length as this one here. Just FYI. So you can kind of see from a dead stop, going and going, and now we're finally about like max speed. You know, obviously it's like exponential or quadratic or whatever. Like you get faster, slower, right? And so you're kind of always increasing to a certain point, but I'd say you get to 90% of your max speed relatively slow. Now, if you watch in Infinite, I just go. And I'm like already cruising. So for like getting out of sticky situations, capture the flag, anything where you need to get out of, well, that's unfortunate. Ooh. Out of a situation quickly. Infinite, it's just so much faster. All right, I will be right back. 1 second. Okay. For some of you, your brother's here. Okay. Yeah, anyway, you see my point. The infinite vehicle... vehicles are faster, but the biggest thing I notice is they just accelerate so much faster. So you feel like, and it doesn't sound like a huge deal, but when you're leaving a base, let's use capture the flag as an example. When you're leaving a base, that increased time to accelerate, it does make you double take about taking a vehicle. Because you're like, well, if I'm already being shot at, by the time I get into a vehicle and we actually get some momentum going, like I'm going to be dead. You know, vehicles are really only viable in previous Halos if you can do it sneakily. Like if you can get in the vehicle and take off before anyone's even shooting at you, then you could do it. And Infinite, like vehicles, like you're out of there like instantly. If the opposing team doesn't have something to counter the vehicle in their arsenal at that moment, like the vehicles are a legitimate strategy. Because they're just gone so much quicker. So that really does shrink the way the map feels. It just feels a lot smaller. Okay. Yeah, I started to spawn by the water and I'd be jumping the bridge in like 4 seconds because of the hog speed. It's insanely difficult to bounce map around that. Yeah. Can you change that in the vehicle's parameters? I'm sure you could. I'm sure you could. I don't want to though. Is the thing is, I'm not trying to recreate Terminal. I'm trying to bring Terminal into Halo Infinite. It's kind of looking at it like, what are the parameters? Are the parameters I'm working within Terminal, and I'm trying to squeeze Halo Infinite into Terminal? Or are the parameters Halo Infinite, and I'm trying to squeeze Terminal into Halo Infinite? That's what I'm trying to do. If I were trying to recreate Terminal and squeeze Infinite into Terminal, I would be changing the movement speed and the jump height. I'd be disabling clamber. I'd be disabling sprint, and I'd be making it basically Halo 2. Halo 2 physics and everything. Decreasing the vehicle speed if that's possible. I'd be doing everything to make it feel and play like Halo 2. The thing is, we already have that. We have MCC. We have that map and that experience already. I want to tweak what I need to about the map to make it work in Infinite. And that's a good point. I thought a lot about that. Like, it's not a simple flip of a switch. Like, I'm going to recreate this map. There's a lot of forethought that has to go into it. Like, how do I want to recreate this map? So that's what I'm going for. So I don't mind doing things like scaling it bigger or making changes to the geometry of the map to make it work with Infinite Sandbox, right? So can you nerf it just enough to make it work? I mean, I probably could, but I don't want to. I'm not going to change the player parameters, player traits, vehicle traits, or parameters. This is Halo Infinite. No special game type or anything needed. It's Halo Infinite, with Terminal, basically. Yeah, so maybe it doesn't work. Maybe I do playtesting. It's just like, yeah, this map was made for Halo 2, and you can stretch and squeeze and nip and tuck all you want. It just is not going to work in Infinite. I don't think that's the case. I think you can. It's just, it's not. It means it's not going to be a one-to-one. Like this right here. I had to scale it up. You're able to clear this jump in Halo 2 with fairly minimal effort. You look in the bottom right. I'm driving up. You don't even need to crouch jump. I can just walk over. I'm really glad I actually made that first try. Yeah, you're not getting anywhere near that. Even with sprinting, even with clamber, you're not going to make that jump here. So what do I do? Well, I have to go back into game mode. I originally was spawning by the teleporter over there. I'm not dumb and just put a teleporter clear across the stage. It just started spawning me on the other side for some reason. So I can't clear that jump now by any stretch of the imagination. But what I can do is add, and it's fun too, add something that acts as a functional replacement for that. I don't know if what I'm saying makes any sense at all, but that's what I'm getting at, is I want it to still be Halo Infinite, not mess with any player traits, not mess with the vehicles, not mess with the weapons, the sandbox, the gunplay, the mechanics. You shouldn't have to think in your mind, coming from a bunch of matches in Infinite and then coming to this one, oh, how do I need to change the way I play to match the new movement speed in this game type or whatever. You don't have to do any of that. You're still playing Halo Infinite, the same Halo Infinite you play in any other dev match-made map, right? It's just Terminal and Infinite. But that means I have to do stuff like this, where I come up with, I call them functional replacements. Not exact replacements, but they replace the functionality of what was there before, which is the ability to clear this gap. You still have that. It's just now it's kind of a shelf you have to run on. So anyway, that's the idea. I didn't do that as much with my Halo 5 one. I really just made, it was almost like a set piece. Like I made when I made the Halo 5 one, I really tried to do one-to-one sizing. There were a few things I had to adjust, but it didn't it didn't work as well. This, I'm like, no, this is a Halo Infinite map. Like, if developers needed to remake Terminal, what would it look like? What would it feel like? You know, that's what I'm trying to get at. And because the mechanics are different, the map is going to be different. If you completely disregard vehicles, you don't have to change that much. That's what is said here in the chat. That's why BTB true 1-to-1 scales aren't viable. The exceptions are open spaces. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it came down to just having to make the map bigger. But again, we'll see. Maybe it doesn't work at all. Let's address this ramp issue though. Okay, so this is fine. Maybe doing the build and coming back fixed it. Oh no, it did not fix it. Okay. Let me take into account its position real quick. So we are like 900. Okay. Okay. And are we still broken? No. We seem to be okay, actually. I want to keep this angle consistent, though. I don't want to be going... Now, if there's an angle somewhere else unattached to this that's a different angle, that's fine. But I don't want to go up at like a 10-degree angle, make a corner, and then do a 30-degree angle, then do a corner, and then like down a 5-degree angle. I want to keep them consistent, you know. Looks pretty good. 900. Okay. .2. That's good. All right, and now let's stretch it up. Hoji 49, I don't know about that. I had a couple hits, I guess. But no, there are people who have spent significantly more time in Forge than I do. 15. All right, I'm gonna scale this up. Don't freak out on me. Save. All right, are we gonna freak out? We are gonna. Okay, so it is the angle. That's why we're mad. Okay. I don't know. I kind of like the idea instead of having to go back and forth a lot. Oh my gosh. Is it just from standing on the angle, or is the whole piece gets all... Yeah, the whole piece gets all wacky. What the heck? That is weird. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff. Like, Forge, the potential is there in Infinite, but man, there are bugs. I mean, I guess that's why they call it a beta. Yeah, let's do like 65. And yeah, I think you're right. Use a floor piece and then angle it. Yeah, you might be right. And then let's do like 25. Okay. Did I see a little hiccup there? No? Seems fine. Okay, this seems really narrow now. Okay. Right. Let's move this. Right about there. Yeah, that's good. I think we need to widen this out. Yeah. 37.5 is my midline for the whole station and everything. Everything goes down 37.5. Just kind of how it worked out. Yeah, let's do 48 going to be too big? I like the size on this more, but it does kind of make the windows awkward. Alright, I might just have to give up on the idea of... I think I just need to embrace the size of it, and that I'm not going to be able to jump down onto that path. So I need to make this wider, but I'm going to block off part of it. So width, I'm going to go, so 48, how wide do I want the sides? And this is 37? No, it's right there. I'll have to figure out what that is. 48, how big do I want the sides to be? If I want 10 on each side, that means this has to be 68 wide. I think I want them to be more like 15. So it needs to be 30 wider than 48. So 78 wide. Yeah. That is not the right one. Why don't you guys say something? This one. That will give me 15 on each side, but it expands from there. Here. Does this have a magnet in the center? It does not, of course not. Interesting. It's like an interesting origin point. Alright, this isn't going to be exact yet. It'll basically be like that. This will be closed off so that it only... you're only running through the center here. You're not going to be able to go over here. It'll be closed off, and then you can turn either way. Or maybe I do an angle. Maybe I do an angle off of this right here. I think that's about a 45. That would get us to here. How wide is this bit? That looks like 15. Let's make this 15 and see. No, it's not quite 15. No, it's like 12 or something. So if this is 65 over 25, what if I did 60 over 20? Would you still be mad at me? To save the magnitude, you almost be better just duplicating 2 to 6 smaller ramps side by side. Yeah, Yeah, you're probably right. That's good. That's good. That's good. Okay. All right. That almost lines up. And this, now hopefully this is about lined up. Ooh. All right. That's pretty good. Oh, here. Yeah, just magnetize it. Technically a little shallower, but 20 by 30 makes the math a lot easier, so I will just call that good. I need to download, what is it? J controls. Some extension you can do to make the pointer controls work more like mouse, more like a controller. I'm using mouse and keyboard, which I think is better for this application, but there's some wonky things in moving the set pieces around that are just really annoying. And I mentioned this before, but it's almost like once a piece gets above a certain size, you can't like magnetize to it anymore. It's annoying. All right, so if I just want to make sure I'm on the right course. So this one was 60 by 20, so Y was 60, Z was 20. So if I do 30 by 10, that gets me there. I need to go out a little bit more. So it needs to be more like, it's 1/3, so it'd be like 33 by 11. Nope. We could try 36 by 12. That's pretty good. That's a little too long. Do 33 by 11 or 34.2 by 11.4 if my math is right. There, I'm just gonna magnetize this stupid thing. There. Almost there. 34.5 by 11.5. By 11.6. Yeah, it is annoying how you lose magnets when things get above a certain size. I think one more and we'll be good. 34 point, actually be 35.1, 11.7. That's good. Well, now I need to do the same thing here. Which now, this might not work. Actually, I don't think it's going to. Because it's now too shallow. Dang it. Yeah, it's too shallow. Shoot. Well, that's the general idea. That's the idea. I mean, things don't line up perfectly, but there'll be a pathway down, or I want to make it so you can also, take people by surprise and jump up the side there. Yeah, that's good. I'll have to toy with the heights, but I think that's the shape I'm going to go with. I'm going to put a wall on either side of this to make it more of a funnel, more like a narrower hallway. Something visual to look at on this wall here, and then it splits into two. And up like that, and then of course you won't have to jump there normally, and then you're back up. I tried using mouse keyboard, but it felt like rollerblading through sand. Yeah, no, I feel you. It's just more natural for me to manipulate the pieces using a mouse. But, yeah. There's an extension I'm going to use. I think I mentioned it. That's going to help a little bit. All right. I think I'm going to call it for this section here. What I really need to do that I've been putting off is figure out how high I need my ground, my floor. Star hanging off your gun has me feeling like a cat. Yeah, it was really distracting to me at first. I kind of got over it eventually. Yeah, as you see one of my train prototypes there. It's like a bunch of cars stacked together. I just used cars for the first one, but it was only one set of cars. I feel like these cars are smaller. I know the map's bigger, I know. But still, I felt the cars were smaller. This is now too big. I scaled that's one thing is with the tracks scaled up, the train would need to be really big. So I did scale the tracks to make them narrower, like only slightly wider than they are in terminal. If I go to terminal, they're a little bit wider, but not by a huge amount. Move out of the way before I die from a train. Oh, yep, there it is. And then you can make this jump here. You can still do that on mine. You can still do that on mine. Okay, yeah, see, barely. Yeah, something I've been putting off is the vertical heights. I need to, at least for this area that I now have enclosed, I need to get this terrain in, and I need to get it down here so I know. Now I went 40 units down, which I feel was like more than enough. I gotta look at the original map, like. If I'm looking off this platform, like that should be way more than enough. It's going to poke into the ground, which is totally fine. There's a lot I'm going to do here. So on the original, there's not really much going on in this room here. There's like some buzzing sounds and stuff, and it's really cramped in here. I'm going to make this kind of a, like a control room. There's really nothing visually appealing going on here, other than, you know, you can still look up and see people. I don't think you actually can hit them. I'm not able to shoot this glass, so I'd say you probably can't hit them. Other than that, there's really nothing worth looking at down here. So I want to make this something like workstations and a control room and monitors and stuff. But still, you know, be roughly the same size and or not size, but like geometry, but actually have something interesting to look at. But I need to know before I do anything down there how far down I need to go, like precisely. So, do you guys have any suggestions? Doing horizontal distances. Now remember, I'm not sticking to it 1-to-1. The way I'm doing it is, if you can crouch jump on Halo 2, you should be able to clamber in Halo Infinite. So like the tracks, for example, you can crouch jump. You can crouch jump. You just have to take my word for it. You can crouch jump onto the tracks. It's perfect timing. So now you can clamber in Infinite, because the jump height's reduced in Infinite a little bit compared to Halo 2, but you can clamber, so I feel like that kind of makes up for it. So, ideas. How do I... It's decent. It's simple enough to get the size horizontally. Vertically, I've just kind of been eyeballing it and making sure I can jump to things and that still works, but that's kind of it. This already feels too tall here. Like that's way too high. I just have this ground kind of as a placeholder. I wanted something that dips down under the bridge but then goes up next to where this garage is. I don't know. It's probably going to be like a mixture of things. Yeah, that's about as far as I can go that way. I can go a little bit this way. And then, like, undoing something is like a headache and a half. Because it only works like half the time. That looks good. I'm going to bring it up just a touch. And I believe I tilted it slightly. I guess not. I should, though, tilt it ever so slightly. Yeah. So find the exact number of units high that works for clambering. Do the same for Halo 2 jumping. So I do know a spot in Halo 2 where I found the maximum you can crouch jump. It's about right here. See that? I mean, you have a little bit of room, but it's pretty much right there. So you look at that. You could clamber up that spot right there. Now, side note, I want to remove that because I added in a doorway here, and I don't want to give people such quick access to the first floor of the garage. If they grab a flag, I don't want them to be able to just jump up and get in that door and go down to the first floor. I do want them to have to walk around. You can clear that jump, but you have to be sprinting, which in, I think, all capture the flag game types, you can't sprint. So, yeah, Halo 2, you were like on the moon. I think the highest jump height in a Halo game has to go to Halo 2. Basically a built-in clambering, so you can just jump over anything. I think you could, if I remember right, you could do it here too if you got the ground just right. Oh yeah. It's insane what you can jump to. Okay. So, effectively, if I were to keep it the same there, you should be able to barely clamber. Like, barely. So that'll at least give me a baseline. And I do know that this is the highest point of the ground. It just goes down from there, like pretty dramatically too. So, and it keeps going down and down and down and down and down. I know you cannot jump up anywhere on this side, but you can here about halfway up. Yeah. I guess if I stand right next to it, yeah, you can jump pretty much most of the way up. Yeah. So, I should not be able to jump here. I should barely be able to clamber in this general vicinity, which right now I don't think I'm anywhere near. Yeah. So, this piece works great. That's funny. This is pretty good. Can I... Actually, I think you can jump up this part. Yes, you can. And it does not look like I can here. So what I'm going to do, I do like the overall geometry of this piece, but I want to scale it down just a touch. Like make it less, make the relief less extreme. That seems better to me. You could jump here. Go over here. Yeah, it's pretty low. It actually gets perfectly flat right here, which I could do. I think I need to scale it down just a little bit more. 20, let's go like 15, and then bring it up to like 605. That's too tall over here. And now that's not enough. Okay, I went too far. I need a new piece of land is what it means. Or I turn it like that. But I think that's too far. I think that's good. I think I actually have to bring this up to like 25 and then bring this down to and I think rotate it slightly. Like that. One more. Then bring it down to what, 590 again? Or 592. Let's do that. No. Does it go up and then down? It goes down, and then it does go back up here, right about the halfway mark. No, right about where that lamppost is. So that's actually not bad. What I think I need to do, though, is make it longer. Did that bring it out this way more? Trying to make sure I'm doing this right. No, this one. There we go. And then I can bring up the relief. I might go right back to where I was at 30. No, I won't do that yet. I'll go down to 585. I will go back up to 590. And then I will move this whole thing back this way a touch. That's looking pretty good. I think I went too hard on the angle. So let me angle this back down. 1.5. That might be, no, that's pretty good. That's actually looking pretty good. And now I think I can increase the relief a little bit. And then I will need to lower it. That's looking much better. I bet I can clamber this now. Yep, sure can. Can I clamber this? Yes. I think you can barely make that over here. Oh, right next to the bridge, you can't make it at all. No. On the other side of this light, yes. So we still need a little bit more of an exaggeration. And honestly, this needs to be shifted to the left a touch. We're actually increasing the relief from our baseline. And then we'll bring it down to 582. That actually looks really good. And then I can clamber here. I think I can clamber the whole way. Yeah, for sure. Can I still clamber here? Oh, uh-oh. Looks like I should be able to. I wonder if it's like this. It's almost like I should, but yeah. So that needs a slight adjustment. I think I need to bring this over even more. That's good. That's good. And can I clamber here? Like no animation. It's just like, yes, we're not going to show you, but yes, you can clamber here. I like fell, and then he's like, yeah, I'll clamber, whatever. I mean, that's pretty good. I could do it about halfway up. Barely. There's like no animation for it. And then there's a barrier here that I don't think you can jump over. Yeah, you'd have to be over here to do it. And this you can barely do. You can't be sitting right next to it and do it. So here's the thing: is this slope is pretty gradual. I'm really liking the baseline of this. This is a good starting. I'm happy with this, right? How does the terrain behave over here? Ooh. Kind of dips under the bridge a bit. I mean, this, I don't know if that matters as much. The important thing is that as a person, you can't get up to any of this. Beyond that, it doesn't matter. It's this terrain right by the roadway that determines where you can get up or not. And that does matter, you know. So this, like, whether it's a little bumpy here, bumpy there, that, I don't think that's as important. Because regardless, you can't jump up here versus there. You can't jump up in any of this area at all. And that's really what matters. So I'm not really that concerned. I just want to make sure the overall level is good. And I feel like this is good. You know, it actually feels, I feel like this, kind of where this peaks, would be a good place to connect another, like, sheet, you know, which also reduces the amount of height that I have to travel up here, which could actually make this viable. Maybe that's what I do. Maybe I set this, you know, where I like it, and worry about this part at the end. I don't know. Okay, but terrain-wise, what do you guys think? I actually like this. This is interesting. I do know this here is supposed to be where the terrain matches up. So there is definitely a deficit here. This should line up like right where the ground meets. And we're talking like a, what, a 3 meter difference? It's a good slope. Yeah, I think so too. Another thing, the real important thing here is that you can jump up in the same places. Can I jump up to the bridge? No, definitely not. Definitely not. Well, honestly, actually, I might from this side. Oh, yeah, this side I can. Ooh, I think this side you probably could. Maybe not. Okay, maybe not. Whereas, I think I could still clamber that. Yeah. think we have to go a little bit more. A little bit more. Maybe 40. Now we're getting really wavy. And I think we have to decrease this angle by like, I think even half a degree is too much. As long as it's close, I think you're good, he says. Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I could probably, even after all that, yeah, I could still clamber that. I think I need to bring it down, though, is the thing. This was 1.5. Where that's where it was at, right? No, it wasn't. Yeah, now your clamber animation's working. It's always a plus. If I move the whole thing that way, touch, and then I need to lower it. I'll do 580. I like this. I can clamber here. Oh, still barely clamber there. I think you're right. I don't think that's overly important. You just blip. I mean, that's just if you're clambering right on the very edge of where you think you can. But overall, this is good. This is really good. And you can, yeah, still jump here. Yeah, and it's broken again. Yeah. This hump here actually needs to go because I need to have flat. Ugh, can't remember the controls. I need to have like relatively flat ground here, so I need to lower this just a touch. Maybe just one unit. That might have been too much. So I can easily jump up this without hitting my feet. I mean, of course I could do that in Halo 2. Blip. Yeah. I think it's pretty good. Okay, so the real thing is, though, the reason this bridge goes up and this bridge goes down is because the Wraith has to be able to fit under there. Now, the Wraith isn't really supposed to go over there because that is meant more as a defensive option, but they don't want to have the map geometry blocking vehicles from areas. So you can still like bring the Wraith along the road and stuff. Again, probably not recommended, but you could do it. Yeah, the lack of clamber animation happens because it's almost like the game. There's like a threshold where the animation happens, and a threshold where the actual clambering happens, and those don't quite match up. So wherever you see it, like you pop up, but the animation doesn't trigger, you're right in that zone where it's too short for the animation to trigger, but you do actually technically clamber it. So I think you're right. I think, yeah, in my uneducated opinion, that's probably what's going on. This looks so good. Okay. I think we managed to do a pretty good job making the default terrain match up pretty good. Okay. Oh, Wraith. Let's spawn a Wraith. All right, tell me if I'm crazy. I think with the added size, yes, that is one terrain piece. The whole thing is just one. If I zoom out, that's the terrain irregular, or terrain rugged is what it is. And it transplants the texture below it, which I specifically put the map here so I can get this nice natural like roadway coming through, and then it departs around the courtyard and all that. So that was intentional, trying to put that there. I want this to lead right out of the garage door opening, so it looks like this is a road that vehicles have taken, you know. Although it is kind of sucky that these puddles land right where this hump is. It's not usually where puddles go. It'd be really cool if there was a puddle right here under that, but whatever. All right, yeah, let's take a look at the Wraith. Oh, am I crazy? But I think with the added size, would a Wasp be crazy? There's 4 doors when you look. I have the map right here. I can show you. There's 4 doors. There's one there, a turret right there. What if the Wasp went right there on the attackers? The downside to the Wasp is if you're having it in like a city-themed map, you have to do a lot more work to conceal the seams of your map, the aesthetics around the map versus the playable area. Because, yeah, and you have to also work on boundaries. Like, it's not just like, oh, let's toss in a Wasp and see what happens. Like, you have to do a lot more work aesthetically to make sure the Wasp can't see parts of the map outside the playable area that aren't like finished. And you have to make sure you have to like, I call it Wes proofing. I have a friend, Wes, who ruins maps because he finds exploits and will use them. So I don't want people flying to parts of the map and like finding a spot they can snipe and no one can really reach them there, right? So it would not be a trivial thing to add a Wasp. I'm just curious. I'll fly around in it and you can kind of tell me if I'm crazy, but I think it feels fun flying around in a Wasp. On this map, I feel like it works, but maybe it's... Jordan has a good point. Like, if the goal is to keep with the original, then a Wasp definitely changes it beyond those parameters. So maybe that alone is reason enough. Now, it is a tight fit for the Wraith. 'Cause, again, you're not really meant to bring the Wraith to that part of the map. But they did design it, I think, explicitly so that the Wraith would fit through there. Yeah, get Wes to test it so you know what you need fixed. Exactly. Like, all right, here, man. Play against me on this map for a little bit. It would be a lot of work. And, like, again, the Wraith fits through here. I can tell you without testing the Wraith is going to have absolutely no problem fitting through here. Yeah, see, it's real close. Like, it's really not meant to come over here. But you can. And it's almost like intentional, like they made the train that way so that the Wraith could go into there. Ooh, that is not enough room. Like, it fits, but that, you can see, all right, let's go right where the seam is to go from flat to angled. Yeah. Yeah, we need a little bit more space, I think. This also looks like it comes out more, which it shouldn't. I mean, I guess it should, because the map is proportionately bigger. But that does kind of, this is where it gets back to, you know, every change you make to the scaling is going to have some kind of impact. So we do need to adjust it a bit more. Let's go up to 50. I know that sounds crazy. Yeah, the map is bigger in comparison to the vehicles, which is bigger in comparison to anything you put on the map. Let's go down, actually. Yeah, the map is scaled up because of player speed and on-foot travel and vehicle travel. Yeah. That looks better. I want to get like the peak of the valley, if that makes any sense. Which means I'd move it slightly this way, but I'm kind of happy with this. I like that this slopes to where the sides of the walls are going to be, because that's a more natural way for like terrain and sediment to settle, is because it's going to be kind of kicked up and sloped against the wall. As you're driving through here, you're digging up dirt and stuff and you're like digging it, pushing it out of the way and compacting it, and the dirt's going to slowly get kind of pushed out from the middle and get pushed up against the wall. So anywhere where the dirt's kind of sloping into the wall looks more natural than if it were to slope into the wall, slope down into the wall. That looks good. Let's see how it goes on foot. Ooh, that is high. Oh my. I think I need to scale it back down. Yep. This is still relatively okay. What area plays worst on the map? The terminal, that's around the garage drop down section. The whole back corner could be opened up. Over here? Yeah. So it's automatically going to be more open just because it's going to be bigger. It'll be more scaled. I have a plan for that in mind. Basically a secondary path into the base from behind that includes going through a service door that's in the tunnel where the train is. So basically you have, it's like a risk-reward thing, right? It's a further distance and you're in the tunnel with the train, which gives you basically no reaction time. But if there was a door here, and then and then a door like there, or somewhere in here a little bit, and then a one across the way, right? So you have to, you're gonna be yeah, it's coming. Cool, I'm right here. And then it would basically come down a ramp and then come out like here. So it's like more indirect, which means it's taking more time, and it's the added danger of basically looking both ways, but really just needing to blitz through the tunnel really quick with a flag or whatever. And the advantage is you're not getting under as much direct enemy fire, right? I don't want to make any. I don't want anything new that's going to break it. I want it, or like be like the default option. I want to add choices that are like equally, pro and con. Okay. Am I in? I'm not in play mode. I need to keep tweaking this a bit. You know what? This might actually solve all of our problems. Oh, the other side meaning... Yeah. This side, where I'm in an MCC. Oh, total opposite side of the map. Oh, over there. Oh, drop down in the parking garage. Okay, I have something to counter that as well. Now, again, I'm designing all these other additional avenues into it with the intent to keep what works and then block off what doesn't. But at least I designed it with that in mind. So right now you have that spot where you can camp up at the top. What I'm going to do is add in the little garbage disposal area, there's like a dumpster, and if you like have a teammate there, you can jump, throw the flag up to them. Adjacent to that, I'm going to have a lift with a bunch of vents that's going to lift you up to the third floor. So you at least have a way in. But if you're an attacker, you have to make it all the way into their base to make it up into that, right? So, and I like this. I'm really liking this. But this terrain is poking through here now. It's amazing how much we've been able to make this look like the original terrain. Even though this is just a generic piece that I'm sure they spent absolutely no time like wondering how this is gonna... Okay, that's actually really good. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's really good. I think it can come down just a little bit. I like that. This looks like a legit path. Check the Wraith height. That it looks better. It just yeah, let me back here. Oh, I should have saved. All right, real quick. Since I guess I'm just spawning over here now, I'm just gonna move. You know what? I'll just duplicate it. No, because I don't want to just where's my teleporter? Okay. Budget limit exceeded for like what? Dynamic object something? You guys saw that error message, right? Okay, be that way. I like to use one terrain piece when possible because as much as you try to match up pieces, it's a lot of work. And if you ever have to like adjust something, you got to move all those pieces again. It just naturally flows into each piece. So I get it to work as much as I possibly can and then make minor adjustments from there. Terminals would be gameplay. Yeah, blending terrain is not fun. Okay, am I missing something? Budget limit exceeded. What are we... Total static object budget is exceeded. Okay. I'll have to look closer at that. I think these are alpha channel by default. Okay. What the heck, man? I don't know. I'm hoping that's more of like a quirk. Here's what I'll do. I'll click this, and I'll go R, and then I'll go... select olive, and then deselect that, and deselect that, and then I'm only holding on to one thing, so I should be able to just delete that and save. Okay. I wonder how that works when you have 3 teleporters on one channel. Is it just random which one it sends you to? That seems better. Am I crazy? That seems better. It's just super dumb that there's a puddle right at the peak of this. I hate it. There's just such an unnatural place for a puddle to accumulate. You know what I'll do? Here's what I'll do. I will add a pipe or something under this, dripping water to... There's a word for it, but to motivate this puddle being there. Yeah, I don't think I'm anywhere near the limit either. I've seen some like insanely detailed maps that are still under budget, so I don't know what's going on there. Yeah, I'll have a pipe just like dripping water to motivate that puddle. Boom. Problem solved. Like, I know it's silly, but like that, I hate that. Like, it looks so silly. Maybe some people wouldn't notice it, but I think subconsciously you know there should not be a puddle, you know. Oh, and this little hill here is perfect. That's good. Oh, but can you still jump up here? Oh, barely. Does that mean you can't jump over here? No, you cannot. Okay. Like it. All right. I'll take your advice. I will save and leave. Makes me nervous. Latest version? Really hope I'm not about to overwrite anything. Oh gosh, I hate this. Place to Warthog, 100% static. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about, man. I'm not going to get too deep into the train scripting just for things to... No, I'm not working on anything. I could zoom out for you, but it's just a big empty field. All right, let's take a look. Okay. Yeah, I'm at 5%. My FX count is high, but is that what? I have like no effects going on. Is that like stuff down here that has effects to it? Oh, it can go up to 400%, no issues. Good to know. I mean, I think some of these monitors and stuff count as effects. I don't know. I thought about putting this in the terminal as like a big Jumbotron screen, but I don't know where I'd put it that would look natural. Okay, we still have this issue to deal with. It's gonna be okay. Wait, let me go to that spot because there might actually be. Like a ramp there. Oh, it does actually kick up a little bit right here. Not quite that much. I don't want to redesign the interior around this, you know. The problem is this knoll is like pretty close to the center, so any rotation is like really not gonna fix the issue. But it will throw everything else off. Blip. I think that's fine. I think I'm getting too into the weeds here. What I can do is add just a little bit of terrain as it slopes up. I think that's fine because it does angle up, and I'm fine angling it to cover that little bit. Okay, let me fly around in the wasp for you real quick. Oh, now I spawn over here. Good grief. What? What? So it's now open enough that you can like legit fly through here with, you know, relative ease. Now it's going to be much different with people shooting at you. But that, and I feel like being able to fly over the building too. I don't know. Is that going to teleport? It is. That's cool. You know what I noticed? Watch this. Oh, there it is. Now this does give credence to the idea of making like a split gate alternative. If I stand, what would it be, about here? No, I think here. You can fire projectiles through is what I'm getting at. I don't think bullets go through, but I think projectiles like rockets and stuff. What I'm getting at is I think somebody could make a split gate because you can fire through portals, which is a really big part of, you know, the split gate mechanics. So yeah, you don't think it works to be able to fly over it? The train has taken more lives than anyone else has, yeah. Yeah, projectiles go through, and vehicles with no one in them go through, which is cool. It used to be it's really only your character that goes through a teleporter. Now, basically anything does. What the heck? Okay. Holes in the roof. I mean, the wasp is going to be in your line of sight for so short a time. I don't think the holes in the roof would matter. I did toy with the idea of adding, like, I have these narrower sections right here. Right, there's one right there and one right there. I thought about adding like a glass panel section just in those areas and having them connected with, you know, connectors between each section just to kind of give more vertical, you know, like you can look more up, I guess. I don't know. That's like not what I should be focusing on. So I like this. It's still a little bit too... You know what? You know what I haven't tried yet? What if we rotate? Oh, yeah. Now, did I screw everything up by doing that? Oh, that's cool. Yeah, your map idea about teleporting vehicles, that's really cool. Alright, that might be as good as it's going to get. I'm going to bring this down just a bit. So I can bring it vertically up more. But now I think that's too low for the Wraith. So many things to contend with. And now I can't jump up here at all, hardly. Yeah, that might be a problem. Yeah, letting the Wasp go from one side to the other uncontended. Yeah, it's not great. Is this hallway even that wide? Oh yeah, it's wide. Yeah, it goes the whole way. It goes up the height of this road here, which in mine is basically nothing. I just like the thing, so I want it on the map, whether it works or not. So many of my best Forge ideas. That's the conclusion I came to. All right, let me save, get back in the Wraith. Of course, I'm over here now, because why wouldn't I be? Nice. That still works. Mostly. It's close, but it still works. What do you think? Yes, it did. Did the trail of smoke just follow the teleported path? Yes. It's really funny. So you shoot a rocket and it leaves a trail of smoke, and it's not like volumetric smoke. I think it's just a 2D piece that are lined up like a train. But they're oriented to face the perspective of the person looking at them. But as you shoot it through, you'll see the rocket is now somewhere else. And so whatever math the game does to calculate the trail, it now says, hey, the last one was here. The next one needs to be behind the rocket there, and interpolate every one of those in between. And so what you get is a line of smoke that goes like 500 feet away. You see that? I don't know if you saw it. Watch. You see it? It is pretty funny. Yeah. I do love the physics in this game. Okay, I think this in combination with a little bit of a slope that I'm going to give it should be good. Hilariously broken. Yeah, I mean, they should have something in there that's like, if teleported, then break the chain of the trail, smoke trail, but it's still a funny little artifact. Okay, let me take a look how high this is. Oh yeah, this is really high. That's not even close. Okay, so I think if I add another terrain piece, biomes, right? It makes it seem like if you stood between two teleporters and fired a rocket, it would kill you. I don't think so, because it goes through all the geometry and doesn't blow up, you know. So it truly does teleport, but maybe it behaves differently if there's a player in between there. But terrain. This is what that rugged piece normally looks like. The relief in that is way too exaggerated. Skewer yourself. You know what would be ridiculously funny is if you could shoot it through a teleporter and then it comes out a teleporter and then into a different teleporter and then out of a fourth teleporter that's pointed right at you. So you fire it and then get skewered in the head. That really reminds me of a Splitgate. All right. So yeah, vertical or 99. Yeah, we need this to be like 10. And then we'll just do just a little piece of land, you know, 500 by 500. That's pretty good. Wow, look how much better this looks with some ground under it. A map with a bunch of teleporters. Oh yeah, like Duck Hunt. Are you talking about Duck Hunt from like Halo Reach? Halo Reach days. Man, that was fun. Is oh yeah, Rat Race, yeah. I'm hoping on Forge right now. Hopping on Forge just to see if I can skewer myself. Has anyone recreated the Halo 2 OG Zombies map? Are you talking about Foundation? Yeah. I saw someone had recreated it. I didn't even recognize it though because they had changed the aesthetics so much, which isn't a bad thing. It's just like, whoa. It's hard to believe it's got the same geometry fan. Jordan, your comment got blocked because you said OnlyFans. With the bunkers in the middle, yeah. Oh, you remade Foundation? Nice. That's a good one to remake because it's nice and symmetrical and doesn't have anything really crazy going on. Probably, honestly, should have started with something like that, personally. But, you know, just a sadist, I guess. Okay. Do it with every forge, just get the basics down. That's a good idea. So I'm hearing things. Trying to figure out if it's the game or what. Oh, someone's in the pantry right there. And this can all just be raised up. That or Warlock, yeah. It's even on your OnlyFans. People there and the strangest things. I mean, this is good. It's a little too high. And I think the terrain's actually even at this a little bit too wavy. Flat 0. I've added you on Xbox Live yesterday so I could take a picture of the map I'm forging. It's still work in progress, but I'm sending a picture of my map in a few minutes. Okay, cool. Haha, we have chat, ladies and gentlemen, and gentlemen and gentlemen. Okay. Yeah, send me the picture. I'll take a look. All right. That seems better. Well, I wanted to make this a little control room over here. So that wouldn't really work for that. I need this to be level. So I'll add the terrain on later. Just want to make sure this height is good. Oh yes, has to go over way more. What is that text alert? It sounds real familiar. Ha! It's my phone. Just text message or telling me my house is armed. No. It's actually from a little movie called Back to the Future. The chest is like, or maybe I'm thinking of something else, but yeah, it's the like little trill from Back to the Future. My wife hates it. Yeah, the terrain like out here in the open really doesn't matter as much. It's here where there's a piece of walkable geometry in close proximity to the terrain where I want to be really careful how they line up. Yeah, it's the Back to the Future jingle. Da-da-da-da-da. I mean, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So this does a really funky thing. Let me hop back on Halo 2. This is like a really... Like, if you think this bowl is exaggerated, look at this. Look at this. And I think they did this so you intentionally could not jump onto that because it is literally right at the cusp. I spent probably 15 minutes trying to just see, like, is it possible to jump there? I don't think it is, and I think they made it that way on purpose. I really think they made it so you could bring the Wraith around that spot too. So it's okay that this is so low in comparison to that because look at that. It needs to go like up which is going to look really weird, but it can be more sloped because the map is scaled up, so it won't look as extreme. Like, you can kind of get away with that on some of these older games, but here there's some semblance of realism that you kind of have to adhere to, and that ground is way too steep to be stable. It would eventually just kind of level out, you know? It wouldn't stay like that for long. Do I dare try to tackle that? No, I don't think I will. You know, I think I will just make this the rest of the map. Yeah. No, too much. I feel like that lined up pretty good. That one is a little more obvious, but I don't know, I feel like that's pretty good. Oh, haha! And that is why I save every time I turn into a human. Does Forge crash pretty regularly for you too? You can't skewer yourself, but you can rocket yourself. Oh, speaking of Back to the Future, there you go. There's my background. Despite the fact that they were insanely overpriced and balls slow, I just think they're the coolest thing. DeLoreans, I don't know, they're just... The skewer will stick you, but not kill you. What interesting behavior. That's really funny. Now, if you have it lined up, could you throw a grenade? Does a grenade go through? Because that would count as a projectile, right? Middle school guidance counselor, how to DeLorean. Nice. Oh, a grenade will go through. Can you stick yourself? That'd be funny. Yeah, man. DeLoreans are cool. I know they're making a new one. Oh, that's awesome. You can stick yourself. Whoops. I want to get the basics of the geometry underneath the track section done. I feel like it'd be in a good place. If that's going to be like a control room, then it needs to have a flat floor, which means it needs to be raised a little bit above the base terrain. Yeah, that lines up good to about here, but that's fine because this is going to be inside anyway. Well, that's cool. I mean, heck, yeah, man. Live your life. All right. I'm really scared to do this, but I think my entire map. This entire map needs to move, like if you look at this part here, needs to move to about here to get the tracks to line up, because right now it doesn't make sense. This block here needs to end about here. That's when it starts moving. And I promise I'm not doing it just for this. The upside to that is this darn puddle will now be in more of like a natural spot. And I was planning, like irrespective of this, I was planning on having a row of pipes under here to just kind of like, this looks too thin. Like that works in like Halo 2 logic, you know? I guess it's braced, but it needs to have more volume. And I was like, oh, I'll just do a row of pipes. That'll look cool and have something dripping. But I need to move my whole map that way. And I'm scared. For obvious reasons. Well, I'm going to save it right now. It's all about the puddle. I swear it's not. Yeah, no one believes me. But look, though, it is more about the aesthetic of this. It really should be further out. So I just saved. Oh, gosh. Am I going to ruin my whole map? This is so stupid. Oh, I can only do 150 pieces at a time? Oh, man. Oh. That's 150 right there. I thought that would be enough room. The problem is, it's going to keep bugging me. And eventually, I know I'm going to try to fix it. But, it's a problem now. It's going to be a much bigger problem when I have a fully polished, you know, map that I'm trying to move. You know? So I have to decide, do I do it now? Leave the puddle. Leave it. This is coming off of there. Doesn't look very natural. Ah! It kills me. Oh my gosh, it kills me so much. So stupid, but it really bothers me. Side-by-side parade? No. You know what? You saying that, that literally makes me feel better. What I will do is I will put a door right here, like a vehicle door. So it's like, oh, vehicles come out of there. And they got across there. Like, it's so stupid, but that instantly makes me feel a million times better. You know? Because there has to be something motivating this terrain, you know? But if there's a door there... Because I was already going to put one here, too. The tracks go over here. There's like a mound of dirt here in Halo 2. And I was going to actually reform that to have like a hole in it. Alright, jeez. You guys talk some sense into me. Man. Still bothers me, but I will put a door there, and then that will make me feel better. It's silly, but that's just how I operate. Alright, I could do like one more thing. Oh, I'll do the geometry in here. This needs to be way higher up, but this is fine for in here. Oh no. wonky piece rolls of like 0.2 to 0.4. Yeah, I've been seeing that, and I did actually move this around. It was actually further up here, and then I was like, oh, I'm going to move it over here. And me trusting that, you can select all these pieces and move them, the game won't spontaneously just, well, you probably want these like turned 0.4 degrees or something, right? I came across a bunch of pieces that had been turned a little bit. And that's probably why. Now, that was really early on. I think I only had the road at that point. Maybe I had the roof of this. All right, geometry. Enough getting sidetracked. Let's take a closer look in Halo 2. So we have these pillars here, which I know are exactly the size I want them to be. So it looks like it's just a flat wall with an opening the size of a Spartan. Now, since I'm going to be deviating, I'm going off script for this section down here, making a little like utility room. So stupid, but I'm so glad you said this could be a utility access door. This makes me feel so much better. It won't let me, but I don't want to move it. If I did, I'd have to save it as like a V2 and then keep working on it. Oh, there you go. Oh, hey, Connor. Good to see you. I think it is directly lined up with this bridge, so I think I'll kind of scale it to be close to that bridge size. Well, honestly, I'll make it the size of this door. That's pretty good. That makes sense, right? Spartan door. Usually crashes your game. Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. Just gonna grab a wall. And I believe these are 40 units tall. Wonky controls. And how thick are these walls? They're pretty thick. I don't think I need them to be that thick. That's cool. They had a parade. Yeah, I'm running the game on my PC, but even just playing standard, just like forging around, moving a couple pieces at a time, like it still makes a decent amount of noise. More than when I'm like actually gaming. So it's interesting. Yeah, it's locking to this piece there, which is fine. Then I'll make this the same height as that, which I think I had made 0.7. And this side too. It wasn't the average kicked back to the dash kind of crash. Oh, like the whole game crashed. Your computer restart to factory settings. That's funny. Sorry. Actually, this piece has to go over in this wall. Like that. Oh wow, that's a big crash. I've been good, man. Just, you know, staying busy. Work, wife, kids, all that. Great stuff. Yeah, I guess Joe probably went to bed. No more blocked comments. Just trying to get my video kicked off YouTube. Yeah, the D&D is really good. All right, 50, 65. That's pretty close. Why isn't that quite lined up? Because this isn't quite lined up. Nope, it is. So what's off about this is the height. It is the height. Yeah, there we go. I should have, you know what, I'm gonna magnetize it there, and then I'll decrease the height of the object. Perfect. Oh, you guys are funny. I feel like 5 units is good. Nice thick walls. After all, it does have to support the weight of a train. A couple trains. You know? The walls should reasonably be relatively thick. Now ideally, if I've done this correctly, I should be able to magnetize this here and it should be good to go. Nice. And you know what? I think I could do the same thing right here. That was weird. Just like sent me into this guy. Oh, you need thick walls to stop bad spawns. If you go too thin, players will spawn in the sky, even if you have 300 spawns on the map. That is bizarre. Thank you for that information. That's good to know. All right, so I have the basics of this area down. Let me go back to Halo 2. Yeah, see, there's nothing in here. A real problem on smaller maps. Good to know. Yeah, this is a lot of room in here. Now I need to find the thickest, the tallest place of the terrain. And that's this piece, it seems like. Yeah. Right about there. And this is going to be where my floor goes. So it'll be this high throughout the whole thing. Thick walls. Great place for a mahogany's, yeah. Structures, floors. Yeah, UNSC floor, why not? We'll make this. I know some of these like pre-made. Yeah, so you won't let me go any thicker than, I guess we'll do 4. And then like, I think it's like 280. Oh no, that's way too big. Maybe it's like 180. Okay, if you can get spawns perfect with bots, usually good for big player counts. Good to know. Yeah, I played around with bots just a little bit, just to kind of, you know, just to see what's what. you know, I can tell you exactly what's going to help. This thing is centered in the middle. So that is 766.2 and 37.5. And 37.5. Did I say or do anything to get shadow banned? No. I only recently started making YouTube videos somewhat regularly again. Just been a busy like year and a half really. So that's probably most of it. Though sometimes I swear I'm shadow banned. It could just be me not being interesting enough in my videos. Alright, that looks pretty good. Nice big open area with plenty of room because they actually added. It's funny the things that are just missing from Forge, like props and things that there's just not a lot of selection of that you'd expect there to be lots of options for, and then other things that they make like a ton of, and you're like, okay, I don't know if we needed 80 variations of this one thing, but I guess I'm glad we have them. But workstations and like computers and desks and chairs and stuff, there's actually like a decent amount. So you can make like a pretty convincing little control room in here. Obviously like a big support in the middle to break up the sight lines, both north and south and east and west. So you have to kind of traverse this kind of donut. Sorry, I keep smacking the mic. I'm sure that sounds terrible. Traverse this kind of like squared donut. So it'll be like a longer section in the middle and then not quite as wide. Basically the same thing, but shrunk and then tall. Probably the size of this piece, like lengthwise, not widthwise. Yeah, that would be too short. Actually, yeah, it'd be smaller than that, but definitely wider than the opening. So break some sight lines there. Oh yeah, they have traffic cones and fusion coils, and you can, of course, throw the fusion coils now, which is really fun. Alright, I'm going to save. I'm going to do something for you right now, and then I'm going to call tonight. Good progress, though, tonight. Like, it's really starting to come together. Having the terrain in here really makes it feel more complete. I'm really happy about that. So real quick, let me script just a little fun little script. We could do script brain, and then we'll do make a node. Let's add bot, and then to trigger that, add node, events players, on player, mark. Dude, like a what is it? Dodgeball, like a dodgeball game. Fusion coils get desynced? That's annoying. What is it? Oh man, that's fun. There we go. Oh, that was the pit where people died by the traffic cone a lot. That should be good. Now I will load in the map. And I'll spawn clear over here because of course I did. All right. Oh yeah, really funny stuff. Yeah, I remember thinking like, what are the odds of that? Like that's incredible, you know. But you know, you get enough thousands of matches in and you see it more than once. Can you tell I don't normally play with a mouse and keyboard? Oh, hello. Oh, this will be great. Alright, watch this. The cones don't kill you? That's too bad. Even if they're set to normal physics? Man. Good stuff. Alright, well, I'm happy with progress we made tonight. Thanks for tuning in, guys. A lot of good progress made. Still learning the nuances of Halo Infinite Sandbox and especially the Forge tool. So I appreciate those of you who know more sharing your insight. It's been really helpful. But yeah, I don't have a regular cadence on when I'll be doing this. Just basically, whenever I have time, usually around this time, late at night. So yeah, anyway, appreciate you guys tuning in, and let me know if you have any ideas in our future streams, and I'll be happy to take a look. All right, thanks guys. Later.